The average person checks their phone 352 times per day. That's once every 4 minutes you're awake, and you wonder why you can't focus. You're not just distracted, you're addicted to anxiety. And the worst part? You think it's normal. Here's a fact that'll piss you off. 73% of people report feeling burned out. But here's the real question. What are you actually accomplishing? You're working 60-hour weeks, answering emails at 11 p.m., scrolling LinkedIn to see who's winning while you're hustling. And after all that effort, you're still broke, still stressed, still feeling like you're falling behind. Want to know why? Because you're confusing motion with progress. The system sold you a lie. Just work harder, hustle more, sleep less, grind until you can't. And you bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. 2,000 years ago, they figured it out. Marcus Aurelius didn't have a phone, but he led an empire during a plague, multiple wars, and constant betrayal. Epictetus was born a slave. Seneca was exiled and nearly executed. And somehow, they were less stressed than you are right now. How? 4 principles. 4 secrets that separate people who win from people who just work. Welcome. If you're here for feel-good motivation, wrong channel. If you're here for systems that rewire how you operate, you're in the right place. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Let's begin. Secret number 1. Practical wisdom. Here's a stat that'll make you uncomfortable. People spend an average of 2 hours per day worrying. That's 730 hours a year. 30 full days of your life spent worrying about things you can't change. The Stoics had a term for this, the dichotomy of control. It means there are things you control and things you don't. And 90% of your stress comes from confusing the two. Let me prove it to you. Think about what stressed you out yesterday. Every single one of those things is outside your control, but you spent mental energy on them anyway. Why? Because you're addicted to the illusion of control. Look at circle 2. That's it. That tiny circle is the only place your power exists. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of you are ignoring that circle completely. You're too busy obsessing over circle 1 to actually do the work in circle 2. Epictetus, who was literally a slave, said this. He had less freedom than you, less resources than you, and yet he understood power better than you do. So here's your challenge. I call it the control filter. For the next 24 hours, every time you feel stress, ask, is this 100% within my control? If no, let it go immediately. Redirect to what you can control. Example 1. Worried about the interview? Wasted energy. Will they like me? Real power. Did I research the company? Did I practice my answers? Example 2. Stressed about post-performance? Wasted energy. Why isn't it going viral? Real power. Is the content valuable? Am I showing up consistently? Example 3. Anxious about money? Wasted energy. The economy sucks. Real power. What skill can I learn? What value can I create? Here's what happens when you actually do this. Your anxiety drops by 70% in the first week. Why? Because you're no longer fighting battles you can't win. You're focusing 100% of your energy on the only battleground that matters. Wisdom equals control your focus, nothing else. Most of you won't do this challenge. You'll nod along and then go right back to stressing about things you can't control. Prove me wrong. Okay, so you've mastered focus, but let me hit you with an uncomfortable fact. The average person spends 90% of their time in self-serving activities, thinking about themselves, their problems, their success. That's not stoicism. That's narcissism with a philosophy degree. which is why secret number 2 is going to challenge everything you believe about success. Secret number 2, justice. And no, I'm not talking about courtrooms. I'm talking about something that most hustle culture bros completely ignore. Are you actually useful? Not profitable, not famous, not crushing it. Useful. Because here's a fact that nobody wants to hear. Most people's work doesn't matter. They're creating content nobody needs, building products nobody wants, offering services that don't solve real problems. And then they wonder why they're unfulfilled. Marcus Aurelius said, "What is not good for the beehive is not good for the bee." If your success depends on someone else's failure, you're not successful. You're just selfish. Here's what hustle culture won't tell you. The most successful people in history weren't the most competitive. They were the most contributive.
Henry Ford didn't just get rich. He made cars affordable for everyone. Steve Jobs didn't just build computers. He made technology accessible. Oprah didn't just become famous. She created a platform for others. So let me ask you a question that's going to make you uncomfortable. If you disappeared tomorrow, who would actually be affected? Not who would notice on social media, who would genuinely lose something valuable? If the answer is nobody or just me, you have a purpose problem, not a productivity problem. The Stoics understood something profound. True success isn't about what you get, it's about what you give. When you shift from how can I make money to how can I solve problems, how can I get famous to how can I be useful, how can I win to how can we all win, something magical happens. Your success becomes inevitable because people want to work with those who create value. They want to buy from those who solve real problems. They want to support those who operate with integrity. So tonight, ask yourself, did I contribute today or did I just consume? Did I help someone or just help myself? Did I add value to the world or just take up space? Answer honestly, because that answer determines whether you're building a career or just building an ego.
All right, you're focused, you're contributing, but here's a stat that's gonna piss you off. The average person is interrupted every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes. No wonder you can't finish anything, which is exactly why you need secret number 3. Secret number 3, temperance, the focused restraint. Let me hit you with some facts. Average person has 80+ apps on their phone, checks phone within 10 minutes of waking up, spends 7+ hours on screens daily. And you're telling me you don't have time to work on your goals? You have time. You just give it away to dopamine traps. Temperance is the art of saying no. Not self-denial, strategic restraint. It's saying no to 100 good things so you can say yes to one great thing. Count how many times you got distracted yesterday, how many notifications you checked, how many times you said, "I'll just quickly, I'll wait." Can't remember, can you? Because it's automatic now. You're not in control of your attention anymore. Your attention is being controlled. Your attention is worth $100 billion to tech companies. Every app, every algorithm, every notification is engineered by PhDs in behavioral psychology to keep you hooked. And you're losing. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." You're poor in attention, poor in focus, poor in discipline. Not because you can't afford it, because you keep giving it away for free. Temperance in action. Morning, first 2 hours. 0 phone, 0 email, it can wait. 1 deep work task, your most important thing. But here's the advanced move. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, visualizing obstacles before they happen. Before the temptation hits, decide how you'll act. When I want to check my phone during deep work, I will remember my phone is in another room and I already decided not to break focus. When I'm tempted to say yes to another project, I will remember my one priority and protect it. When I feel the urge to scroll, I will take a 5-minute walk instead because I already made that decision. This is how you win in a distracted world, not by having more willpower, by making better decisions in advance. But most of you won't do this. You'll keep your phone next to your bed, you'll keep checking email first thing, you'll keep wondering why you're exhausted but accomplishing nothing. Prove me wrong. Show me you have the discipline to say no to distractions. Because if you can't control your phone, how are you going to control your life? All right, you're focused, you're disciplined, you're contributing. But there's one more test. 70% of people quit their goals within the first month. Why? Because when it gets hard, they fold, which is exactly why most people will never win. They don't have secret number 4. Secret number 4, courage. But not the courage you see in movies. Real courage. Courage equals doing it anyway. Even when you're scared, even when you might fail, even when people are watching. Here's what fear looks like in the modern world. What if I'm not good enough? What if they laugh at me? What if I fail publicly? What if I waste my time? You know what's crazy? Seneca, who faced actual death threats, said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Just showing up is courage. Starting when you don't know how it'll end is courage. Posting your work when you're terrified of judgment is courage." But here's what the Stoics knew that you need to understand. Obstacle equals opportunity. Every time you fail, you get data. Every time you're rejected, you get feedback. Every time someone criticizes you, you get a chance to improve. But most people avoid obstacles like they're poison. They want the smooth path, the guaranteed outcome, the risk-free success. That doesn't exist. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Let me translate that. The thing you're avoiding, that's your next level. The conversation you're scared to have, that's your growth. The project you keep putting off, that's your breakthrough. Real courage looks like launching before it's perfect, asking for the sale even if they might say no, starting the business without knowing if it'll work, creating content even though people might judge you, showing up every day even when results aren't showing. This is Amor Fati. Love your fate. Not accepting defeat, embracing the struggle as necessary. Every obstacle is building you. Every failure is teaching you. Every rejection is redirecting you, but only if you have the courage to stay in the fight. So let me ask you, what are you avoiding right now because you're scared? That's your move. That's your test. That's where your next breakthrough lives. Stop running from it. Start running towards it. All right, let's bring this home with some real talk. 95% of people who watch this won't change anything. They'll nod along, feel motivated for 20 minutes, and go right back to the same patterns tomorrow. Are you in the 95% or the 5%? These aren't motivational quotes to screenshot and forget. This is an operating system for winning in chaos. So here's my question. Which secret are you implementing in the next 24 hours? Not thinking about, not planning to, implementing. Drop it in the comments right now. Tell me which secret and exactly what action you're taking. I'll reply to the first 50 who actually commit. And if this video called you out in the best way, smash that like button. Subscribe if you want more truth, not comfort. And check the video on screen if you want to go deeper into Stoic philosophy. Thank you for watching. Now stop consuming and start executing. The 5% is waiting for you.